Good morning and welcome back. Today we have Dr. Edward Clark joining us from Atrium Health Navicent Children's. Thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. We are really looking forward to Christmas, and I see you have your festive socks.
I've got my Christmas socks on.
So we're excited for it, but I do want to talk about safety today. Lots of people are getting toys for their kiddos and for loved ones, and I want to talk about that, Dr. Clark. What do we need to prepare for, and how can we be preparing for Christmas?
By all means, well, Santa's checking off his list more than once. So anyway, there's things that we need to check through. And one thing is the label. So when you're buying toys for kids, you want to check that label and make sure you're buying age-appropriate toys for your kids. So keep that in mind. And I was checking out some of the toys down in the lobby down here below, and they've got either a 1+, 2+, 11+, etc. So check that label, make sure you're buying appropriate toys. The next thing is toy check. So you want to check your toys, make sure we don't have any small magnets that kids can swallow, small objects in general. The younger the kid, the bigger the toy needs to be. So keep that in mind. We don't want any ropes, strings, anything that can catch a fire, or any toys that could start a fire.
Right.
So I remember the old chemistry sets back in the day that, it's a wonder we didn't burn the house down more than once. But anyway, you got to look out for all of that stuff. That's the toy check. The next thing is safety check. So if you're buying skates, if you're buying bicycles, skateboards, etc., the four-wheelers, all of that, you need to have safety equipment for your child. And make sure the child is age appropriate to have these toys as well. The helmets, the guards, the
little
hand guards.
Pads, yeah.
I mean, who wants to be in the emergency room on Christmas Day from a broken arm, etc.?
And I think that's a good thing to point out. If Santa happens to bring a bike, make sure that you encourage Santa to bring a helmet and some extra padding, because you do want kids to enjoy this, but safety is a top priority. You don't want to have something that they get injured with. Exactly.
The last thing is trash check. You need to, the smaller the kid, the more liable to get into, whether the bows or the ribbons or whatnot. We don't want kids to get strangled. You don't want a lot of cellophane or all that loose plastic paper around that a kid could get smothered or whatnot with. So you want to make sure you're cleaning that stuff up in a timely manner, getting it out of the way, etc. So label check, the toy check, the safety check, and the trash check is what we need to be checking off when you're looking for toys. Safe toys for kids.
All right. And I want to talk about it too. Let's say our kiddos are eating or playing with Play-Doh and they happen to eat something that maybe they shouldn't. What do you advise parents? How do we know when to go to the doctor?
Yep.
Do we freak out with Play-Doh?
Play-Doh is actually probably pretty safe, but you don't want to encourage them to be eating that.
There you go.
They've been around for a long time. They want to make sure kids aren't going to get. But one, any choking, you want to make sure they're not choking on anything. Right. And like I said, the smaller the kid, the bigger the toy needs to be. And that's one thing to keep in mind when you've got older kids. You got to be careful with what toys they have. Make sure you tell them, be careful. If you've got their infant child, a sibling around. They don't need to be feeding them the magnets.
Maybe keep those on an elevated surface.
Elevated surface, or in their room, and not in the common place or whatnot, so the smaller kids can get a hold of those items that they could choke on.
All right, and so those are really great tips. We're actually going to pop some of those up on the screen right now. We're also going to have those on our website, 41nbc.com. Make sure that you're looking at those toys and safety tips. It is so important as we prepare for the holidays. And if you're shopping for your kiddos or for loved ones or whatever Santa may bring under that tree, make sure you are using safety as a top priority. Thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.